Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana here. Sorry for the late start. Today's Casing Tuesday, but as I was preparing for this card last night, I decided that I was going to do a spinner card using the Casing Tuesday layout, and it took me a little bit longer. And I want to experiment today with you on the live to see some things, how we like to do this better. So I want to give you that, and so hopefully when you decide if you want to make the spinner card or another one like it will give you some options that you can play with. So hello everyone, I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to talk to you all afterwards, and I see that you've already been chattering, and I love that. I love building community, so that's wonderful. And so today is Casing Tuesday, and that's the day when we take a card out of the catalog and we give it a makeover. So let's take a look at the cards that we have. And remember, you can play along with this challenge too. It is not just for me or for some of the other people that do this every week. It's for everyone. You can participate in many different levels. You can make a card and post it. You can comment on other people's cards, or you can be a looky-loo and go and see what other people's sketches, what other people have done with this sketch layout. All right, let's take a look at today's card. I'm going to move my head over because it always cuts off my head. So here we go. There is the card. And do you recognize the inspiring snapdragons that I used last week? Well, they're on this week's inspiration card. So just a different way for you to do those same snapdragons. These ones are really sweet. And I love all the little dragonflies and those little green spiky things. Those are stems that are in the die set, so you can just play around. This is just, I think it's a beautiful card. But I did Inspiring Snapdragons last week, so I had to do something different this week. And so here is the sketch. Oh, sketch didn't come up. There we go. There's the sketch. So those triangular shapes are just for the they represent the snapdragons, but you can put whatever you want in that space. You don't have to do anything floral, even. I didn't. It's just representing any shape you want to use. And I remember, like for my card, for example, since I turned it into a spinner card, I'm not using the greeting layer, that black layer that's on the card. So you can change things around. You can do it exactly as is, or you can play with it and change it around. It doesn't have to look exactly like this. This is the starting point, and I love seeing the different versions of cards every single week that we do this. All right. I want to mention, before I forget, today Stampin' Up! Is offering free shipping on orders of $75 or more. So it's a really great time to place an order. Not only that, if you're placing a free shipping order, you're also going to earn at least one bonus day coupon, and that's a $5 off coupon for every $50 you spend, and then you redeem those in August. So you spend in July and you redeem in August. So don't forget about that. I'm going to be placing an order later today. So, it's a nice time, even if you don't have anything specifically in mind, it's a good time to fill up on cardstock and adhesives and things like that. And if you haven't already gotten this curved label punch, that's what I'm going to be using today to make the spinner element. And one of the hardest things, or maybe not the hardest things, but the things that was hard to, not maybe hard, but puts people off making a spinner card is they have to cut a slot. Well, with the curved label punch, you can punch yourself a slot instead of having to cut the slot with a trimmer. So that's a cool thing about this punch. I'm going to show you how to maximize it. And I'm going to be using the Submarine Life. It used to be a bundle. Now these are standalones. This is the Submarine Life punch. And if I can grab this out, we're going to be using the Submarine Life stamp set. I also going to use the Nested Essential dies, but I want to do a version of this card that doesn't use die cuts. So we're going to be doing both the die cut version and the non-die cut version today and see which one we like better, and see if the die cut really does add something to the card. So we'll play around with that. But I'll be using these on the cards, so you'll see these. But if you don't have a die cutting machine and you just want to do some punching, because punches are standalones, check out this card because we don't necessarily need these. Okay, I think I've gotten to my end. Oh, no, one more thing. Oops, I've been dropping things this morning. Okay, one more thing. Let me scoot up. Let me find my host code for the month. This is my host code for the month. So, okay, we got free shipping. We've got bonus day coupons. And if you are placing an order under $150, then please use my host code. And the gift this month is the iridescent faceted gems. And I've used them, well, there's a picture of them there, but I've used them on cards this month, and they're really cool. And so you will also be getting that if you place a $50 order or greater with me this month. But please use this host code if your order is under 150. If your order is going to be over 150, don't use the host code. I want you to get all of those rewards for yourself. If you're under 150 right now, you don't get any benefit from the host code, or you won't get any Stampin' rewards. So please use the host code so I can use them to get the rewards that I give out every single month. Okay. I think I'm done now. I think I am ready to go and show you how to make this card. Let me pop over here. Okay, here's my card. It is a spinner card. So it either slides or it spins. I don't know if you can kind of tell that, but it's so fun. And it is made using pennies and dimensionals and this curved label punch. So I'm going to show you how to put that all together. It's so fun. One thing, my spinner card might not be as balanced as it could be because I added this propeller afterwards. So it might have been better if I had put the dimensional or attached it right about here instead of right in the center of the submarine. At first, when I was playing with this card, I didn't have a propeller on it. I added it afterwards. So for balance sake, you might want to just play around with that and it might spin like a little bit better. But in any case, it slides and it spins and people are going to have fun with this card. And then you can, when you're mailing it, it does stick out a little bit off the edge, which is fine, because if you're mailing it, you're just going to scoot this over and place it right where it can mail properly. Okay, so let's get started, and I'm going to show you how to make this. We're going to start, usually we start with the card base, but I'm going to start with the spinner element, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So basically it involves, if you're going to do it this way with the cutout shape, it involves 4 pieces of cardstock and paper. So I'm using some of this Full of Life Designer Series paper. And originally I got this paper on the incentive trip. It was one of the Spin the Wheel prizes. And at first I was like, whoa, that's a lot of color. I'm not sure how I'm going to use it. But the back side of these papers have these excellent watercolor washes that can be used very easily on cards. So there is a lot of contrast between the white and the color, but it is a lovely, lovely paper. And so this is one of the papers. Actually, I want to show you what the back side of that paper is. Let me find it real quick. It's right here. So this is the front side and that is the back side. So what I did was I cut one of those sheets in half, and on this card you can't really see, but there is the variation of the top part. This one, this top part of the paper looks more balmy blue, so that's why I chose balmy blue. And this bottom half of the paper looks a little bit more blue green, so we're going to use blue greens on this one. That's why I have the two colors on my in my supply list. So what we're going to do, we're going to first of all, this is the back layer, this is the front layer, and these two comprise the middle layer, the spinner layer. So each of these measures 5.5 by 3 inches. I'm going to adhere this paper layer to the pool party layer. You're not going to actually see this back layer, so this cardstock layer could be any color really. So we're just going to glue this together. I'm just using pool party because it's in the coordinating color family. So we'll just start off by gluing these two together. Okay. And then let me grab my ruler. You will want a ruler for this part and a pencil. I want to measure over 3/4 of an inch from the left side and the same distance from the bottom. So 3/4 and 3/4. So that's about right. I'm just going to move the dot up just a tiny bit. Let me double check. 3/4 and 3/4. Okay, let's set these two layers aside. We're going to grab our curved label punch, and let me hope I can recreate this. I did this so many times last night. I'm hoping that I can do this right. So we're going to do two punches. One is going to come up from the bottom and one is going to come up from the top. This is going to be your starting point. And what you want to do is I want to anchor or put this paper in so that I can see that pencil mark down here in this corner right here. So we'll do that. If we did it like this, it's going to go like this, but I kind of want my wave to go up on an angle and be a little different, okay? So you could do it just like this and then like this, but I'm going to do it as a curve. So that, see that little pencil mark down in the bottom corner right there? I want this punch as far in as it can reach plus pencil mark in that corner. Far in, it's going to be on an angle, see that? It's like looking kind of crooked. That's okay. Just make sure that pencil mark is in the corner and it's all the way as far as it can go. This is probably the corner that it's hitting as far in as it can go. And then you're going to punch it. All right. Then we're going to come in from the other side. And we're going to turn, again, we're going to turn this, and we want to make sure, we're going to look to see that the ends of these slots kind of line up. Can you see that? They're lining up, and you can see probably about, I want to say 3/8 of an inch of the open slot you can see right there. And you can see, or you can go just, you can go in a little bit further too if you want. You can do, you know, so you have about the same distance on this side as you do on that side. But you just want to make sure that this part is lined up, okay? So again, your punch is going to be a little crooked, and you're just going to punch it when you're done. So with that, you've kind of got equal distance on either side. I want you to feel right here in the center. If there's any notches or anything like that, you're just going to take your paper snips and you're just going to snip off any, like if there's any imperfections, just snip them off. This one turned out pretty well, but the first one I did had a little tiny bit of a divot right there. So just kind of smooth it out with your scissors and make it smooth. Okay, on to the next one. All right, this is going to be the front piece of our card. And so we need to cut that shape out of it. Let's grab the dies. And I think my mini boss will be able to cut this. So it's wide enough. So let's just open up little mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss. I like to use it when I can because it's smaller. And just as a reminder, when you're cutting with this machine, if your machine feels tight, the recommended plate is the number 1 plate, but my machine is tight. So if I switch to the number 3 plate as my base plate, it goes through so much better. So I'm going to put this away. We're going to use the number 3 plate and a clear plate, this 5.5 by 3 inch piece, and then we're going to grab the second largest nested essentials dies, and we'll come in here. And what we want to do with this one is we want to center it as much as possible. Just kind of get it centered. Okay, that looks good. And then we'll put the second piece on top very carefully, not to move it. And then we'll run this through. Just hold on, let me put this out of the way. My knuckles need room to move. All right, there we go. See how nicely that runs through? And there is my piece. And you can save this piece for another project. All right, I think that's all the die cutting there is. Let's fold this up. And we'll put this away on my shelf over here and get it out of the way. All right, now we're gonna take a piece of scrap paper. You can see I've already stamped on this one, so let's just flip this over. And we're gonna grab some seaweed and we're gonna grab some bubbles. And on this original card, this is Balmy Blue, and I stamped as your afternoon on it. So it's a little bit darker, so it showed up better. And so this is Pool Party. If I stamp Pool Party, it will be super light. And so it will be very subtle. And so I want to go just a little bit darker. So I'm going to use my Summer Splash ink pad. And we'll start on the left and work our way right. So we'll start and we'll go up about as far as we can. And just kind of bring the seaweed up to that die shape. Should be able to get about 6 on here, like that. See how cool? And then we'll set this aside and we'll grab our little bubbles and we'll do some bubbles up top here, do a couple up here, and we'll do a few more over here. Okay, that's all there is to that part of the stamping. And now we're going to adhere both of these pieces together. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to create the submarine before I attach this to the back right here. Okay, so let's grab some basic white and we'll grab our little submarine stamp and we'll grab Daffodil Delight. And remember I said I'm making a second card, so I actually am going to do both my submarines right now. Okay, we'll stamp one here. Let's see if this one will fit on over here. Let's see first, let's see if this one will fit. So let's punch this one out and then see if we can squeak the other one on there before I stamp 2 of them. Okay, let's go and punch. And let's see if this one will, No, I think I'm gonna use this. That's why I ended up with a second piece. I didn't make this piece quite long enough or grab a long enough scrap. So let's go ahead and do this. Daffodil Delight. And you know, I have to do a yellow submarine. We all live in a yellow submarine, right? I don't know. I just couldn't help myself. I'm sorry. And blue and yellow look so nice together, right? So I just couldn't help myself. Okay, and then I want to grab the propeller. And since I'm using basic beige on here on the greeting, I decided that I would use basic beige to do the umbrella. The propeller. Let's grab this, and we'll want to stamp 2 of these kind of close to the edge here, like that. Pop this away. And there's also a periscope. I decided not to add the periscope because I've got this ribbon up top here, but go to town if you want to and add a periscope. And you can also add sea creatures because there's a lot of cute sea creatures in this stamp set. I think I ran out of mental energy to decorate it up even further, but I always love it. I get people who send me cards afterwards or boxes and things that I've done, and I love seeing what else you've done with what I started off with, because sometimes you have the mental energy to take things further. Okay, so let's go ahead and attach the propeller right away. It's so much easier to do it before you attach anything. Ask me how I know. I attached everything afterwards. So I'm going to attach this right onto the end. And you probably want to hold that there for a little second to kind of make sure it sticks. Okay. And if you want your submarine to pop a little bit more, choose a bright color. You could choose red or berry burst, or like a purple like gorgeous grape, or you know, just whatever color you want to pop the yellow a little bit more. My card got a little bit sedate. Okay, so I have my 2 little submarines that I need. One for this card and one for the second card that I'll be making. So let me show you how to do the mechanism. Oh, and aside, this morning my pennies, I grabbed some pennies, and these little guys were so dirty. I was like, I cannot even touch those. They look so icky. So I went online to find out how to clean pennies. So if you have some icky pennies, not that you're going to see them in the project, but if you want to clean them before you use them, vinegar and salt cleans these really nice. And if you want to know exactly how, you can Google it. But yeah, vinegar and salt. Who knew? These were not very nice looking pennies, and now look at them. They are just beautiful and shiny. So that made me a little happy, but that also made my video late, because I was like, oh, I cleaned these 2, and then, oh, I need some more, and then, oh, these other ones, they're also dirty. So yeah, I went down the rabbit hole. So what you want to do is take one of these pennies. And look, this is not defacing money at all, because you can, afterwards, you can tear the card apart and use the pennies. And these will, if you roll off the dimensionals, it will work. So you're going to do that. Stick 1 penny with a dimensional, and then you're going to grab your other penny, and you're going to do this. Line them up and press them together. And that's what it looks like. It's like 2 pennies with a dimensional in the center. What this is it's a weight. It's a weight that will help your piece roll. Otherwise, it wouldn't roll in the slot. It needs a little bit of weight, and that's what the pennies do. You can also do this with washers, but doing this with pennies has been around for a very, very, very long time. And most of us have some pennies kicking around in a jar or someplace. And so just go ahead and, okay, I'm trying to feed these through here. Okay. Also, if you find your dimensionals have like sticky edges or something like that, you can use an embossing buddy, like to like before you stick the second penny on, and get rid of the sticky edges. But usually it's fine. It's fine. So you can kind of see this is going to roll on here. Okay, on the slot. That's the whole mechanism. So you want to kind of pick a point of like, okay, where is the center of my submarine? And you're going to grab yet another dimensional and stick it right on top of Lincoln's head. And we'll do that. All right, so initially I had it centered right on this window, and I think I'm going to go just a little bit over from there. So yeah, that works a little bit better than my initial one. Remember, you're going to have this in a card, so you're not going to have your fingers in the way of the spinning element. This whole piece is going to be on a card. So how fun is that, right? Okay, so now I'm going to put this back here, and you can debate this back piece. I chose to go darker. I chose to go with Summer Splash cardstock. If you don't want your slot to show, you might want to try and use like maybe Pool Party would have been better, but I kind of think it's cool to kind of see the path of the submarine, because you know the submarine as it moves will leave a line in its wake, so I kind of like that. So that's why I did it that way. And so now we're going to add some dimensionals, and you don't need a lot. You're going to add about 6 of them, supporting the corners of the piece and yeah, the corners and the middle. Okay, so then we'll peel these off. I'm going to need another sheet of dimensionals is what I'm going to need in a second, because really for this one you do want the dimensionals. I hope I have another sheet. Let's see. No, those are mini dimensionals. I'll have to go and grab some in my drawer for my second card. So let's do this. Let's stick this on here. Stick this on. So I'm kind of putting this on the end here, and I'm kind of bringing it together because I can kind of feel where the edges of the cardstock are, and that way I feel like it's going to be nice and straight like that. Okay, so the reason you want dimensionals between the layer is because you want that penny to be able to slide, and if you glue them right on top of each other, the penny is going to stick. Okay, so you need that extra layer of dimensionals to that back layer. Okay, all right, so we've got this layer ready, and now we're going to grab our card base, which is 8.5 by 5.5 and scored in half at the 4 1/4 inch mark. We will fold it in half, do this, grab our little greeting, grab our matching ink pad, and we're going to stamp basic beige on basic beige. Sending oceans of love is a great greeting, and you can turn it into a birthday card by stamping happy birthday on the inside, right? And that's it. You're just going to stamp that. And then we're going to take our piece, and now we can glue this piece. I need to do a second card base, but we're going to glue this piece right onto here. So let's do that. No dimensionals this time, just glue. So this card, I would say, makes a better giving in person card than it does a mailing card, for 2 reasons. One, because when you mail this card, everything's going to squish down. And sometimes when the recipient gets the card in the mail, the spinner element doesn't work quite as well as before because things have been compressed. You can kind of pry everything back up and it will work. The other thing is it might be a little thicker than your a regular postage stamp would allow for, so you might have to pay extra postage on it. If you're mailing this with inside a parcel, then you should be fine. Just make sure that nothing's compressing it down, and then you might be able to send this like maybe with a gift, and that would work a little bit better than just mailing it, you know, like in a regular envelope. Okay, let's grab some ribbon. I think that adds a little bit onto the top. So we'll just grab some basic beige ribbon. And I know I'm going to get this question every time I bring out my ribbon box. These boxes are by stampyboxes.com. They are 3D printed boxes. It's my friend Michelle Carter who makes these. And she has this size and a size that's a little larger. I love this for my in color ribbon, and this ribbon also comes in basic beige. So I have all of my ribbons here in my little box. It makes me so happy. And then you just pull out your little ribbons, and it keeps the ends from unraveling too. So I didn't measure this before, but we're going to measure it this time so I can tell you how much ribbon to grab. Let's see. I'm going to do this. Come up like that. All right, that looks like a good length. And let's grab my ruler and let's measure this so you know how much ribbon. So that is 12 inches right there. And so about 15 inches will work. And then you're just gonna wrap this around, make sure it's flat on the inside. And I want my knot over here, over on the right side. We'll tie a little knot. And we'll grab, just hold on. I want to make sure the ends are kind of even, because with 15 inches, if you do 16 inches, you'll have more room to play with. We'll use our locking tweezers. So we can do that first knot and it will hold it. These tweezers are from the embossing toolkit. And we'll just do that. And then where are my scissors? Aha, here we are. Just angle cut, and angle cut. All right. And there's the card. How cute is that, right? Then this is the blue card. So remember, this is, I'm going to do one more card, so don't worry, I'm going to do my other card. This is with the die cut shape. And remember that paper, it has like a blue end that looks like this color blue, and then it has kind of this green blue end. So I just wanted to share with you how I would stamp both of those cards, because you get two cards out of one 6x6 piece, you know, if you're going to do this paper on the inside here. So that's what it looks like. I wanted to see an experiment what this would look like without this die cut shape in there. I thought, like, does that make a difference or not? And I didn't get a chance to do an extra card last night, so I thought, let me just show you how I would do it without the die cut, and let's give it a little whirl. So we've got our card base, and since we're going to kind of do this in reverse order this time, the card base is the exact same as I shared with you, and we'll just do this down here at the bottom again, the greeting. Oh, I'm off my page here. There we go. I'm stamping down here right at the bottom. close this up. Put this over here. So now this, instead of this layer, we're only going to use 3 layers. So this paper, I want to back it up with cardstock because when the penny slides on here, this paper might be a little bit too light to stand up to the penny. I don't know. I just feel like in my head that that's the case. So you want something that will create a nice strong slot for your penny to slide on. So I'm backing it up. So same paper, and it's 5.5 by 3, 5.5 by 3, and 5.5 by 3. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue these together. And we'll see how everything goes. Let's glue. And remember, I want to do the punch slot first. So let's bring our ruler back in. And we're going to measure over 3/4 of an inch from the left side and 3/4 of an inch from the bottom. That looks about great. I'm starting to get the hang of it. Can eyeball it now. Remember, punch goes in, and we're not doing it straight. We're looking for that pencil mark right down there in the bottom corner, and we want to make sure the punch is in as far as it will reach. Okay, as far in as it will reach. That's probably right the spot where it's hitting, and I can see the pencil mark and it's crooked. Then punch that. If you have trouble punching, leave it on the surface and use both the heels of your hands. And then flip it around to the other side, and we're going to overlap. That's going to overlap the little shape right there. And this one, I'd be a little bit more careful. I'm kind of looking, see this distance here? It's about 1/2 inch, and I want to have about the same distance over here on this side, about 1/2 inch, so it looks kind of symmetrical. So I'm just lining up here, chucking 1/2 inch here. Punch, notice it's not parallel, I guess parallel to the cardstock. It is going in on an angle, okay? Right here. Feel your slot. I feel like there's a little tiny bump there. Where is my little scissor? So if there's a little bump, just smooth it out with your scissors. Just want to feel it and make sure like it's smooth. You don't want anything that the penny can get caught on. All right. I feel like I can still see a little bump. I think it's just the paper on the top. Okay. All right. So now I want to still add, I think I still want to add like a seaweed element down here at the bottom and maybe some bubbles up at the top, right? So let's go ahead and add some seaweed on the bottom. Do I want it this way? I think I want it this way because the deeper green is kind of at the bottom. So let's do that. Let's move these out of the way. Let's move this into my vision a bit more. I need to pay more attention because of my camera placement. Okay, so let's grab this. Let's think about this. Okay, so we've got the most distance here. So I'm going to add this one so it is like pretty tall. We'll add, I can add varying heights of seaweed. Shouldn't call it seaweed. I should call it sea plants because not all sea plants are, they're not all technically weeds, right? There, doesn't that look pretty? I like that. And then we'll take some bubbles. Where are the bubbles? And let's add some bubbles up here. Here, I'm kind of twisting them a bit. And maybe a few, I think maybe I'll just add a few there. Okay, that's it. All right, So now we need to do our penny thing again. Got some more pennies. Oh, I need some dimensionals. All right, good thing I still have some dimensionals. I didn't realize how many dimensionals I need on this project this morning. Okay, we're going to put these guys together. Put a dimensional in the center of your penny. Adhere the two pennies together. You kind of want them, you know, right on top of each other. Squish. Okay, and then we're gonna feed this through. Just be careful. Okay, and this is a good time too where you can test out your slidability, right? And if it sticks in the center where you brought these two punched pieces together, you can fix that still, right? You can test out your pennies sliding ability. Okay, so now we're gonna grab, oh, there's one more dimensional here. We'll stick a dimensional on there. And just let me think. I think we can go ahead and add these two pieces together. We could put the submarine on too, but let's just do this first before we add the submarine on. And it's the same pattern as before. We're going to add dimensionals because we want that penny not to touch that back piece. I see Marge she says she's been using vinegar and salt for 50 years to clean copper bottom pans. Oh, I don't have any copper bottom pans, but yeah, it really works like magic, doesn't it? I was like really happy this morning with my pennies because I was like, you guys are going to look at my pennies and judge me because they're so, I don't know what you call them, but there's a chemical reaction. It's not just that they are dirty. It's like they've reacted to the oxygen or something in the air, and that's why they are the way they are. So just kind of make sure your penny is still sliding. Okay. All right. Okay. So there is that, and now we're gonna grab this piece and add it on here. We haven't put our little submarine on yet. We'll do that still. I'm doing it in kind of a different order this time. Hopefully I'm not confusing you. Because last night, you know, I kind of wanted to keep the shape of the card because I was doing you know, it was Casing Tuesday, so I wanted to keep the dimensions of the card like they were originally designed, like with this shape in there. So, you know, I just kind of went with that, but I wanted to also see how would it look if I did it differently. I'm going to remove the backing on that and kind of come down here. Okay. And so we've got this little guy, this one. They all kind of have varying, like, spinability. They'll slide and they'll spin and people will play with them. So that's kind of the fun part of it. Okay, and then we want our ribbon. And this time, you know what? I know this is going to be 15 inches. So let's go ahead and get 15 inches or so. So this is 12. And then I'm going to do just a little bit beyond 15. And then we'll compare all of them, right? And then we'll see what do we like better, what color do we like better, what layout do we like better, and we'll do a little comparison. Because I really wanted to have one that didn't use die cut shapes because, you know, not everyone has a die cut machine, and punches are pretty cool. They are super cool. Okay. Tighten that up a bit, and then we'll just add a little angle cut here, a little angle cut there, and arrange this a little better. Okay, I've got a lot of stuff on my desk. Let me clean up a little bit before I do the final reveal of all of the cards, because, you know, it's hard to look at things when there's a lot of clutter on the desk, right? This is another thing Stampy Boxes makes, is these little holder thingies too. If you're looking at the ribbon holders, this is kind of fun. Look, it says Brenda's Stamping Tools. So cute. Okay. All right, and it holds all my stuff, which is awesome, because sometimes it's like, if I didn't have that, it would be like absolute chaos. Okay, why are there still stuff on my corners? Okay, so here's the card I just made. Isn't that cute? I loves it. My precious, my precious. Okay, so really different card, huh? I think I like this one better, actually. After all the work I did to get that shape on there, this simpler version of the card is just kind of, it's more up my alley, because I like simple, right? And it's just very sedate, right? Oh, so beautiful. Okay, and then this is the blue card. So I should have made another card here for my collection, so that I could see what the blue card would look like, but it's going to look very similar to this, except you're going to use, what is the color, as your afternoon ink on, and you're going to use the paper, you're going to use the blue part of the paper, and so it's going to have a different look and feel to it, but still like very, very nice and sweet. And, you know, we've got these little guys here, and I hope you like that. Such a simple, fun way to make a spinner card. And this is the spinner card that, you know, has a slight uptick, because like we've got like a swirl that goes up instead of just kind of curved like this. It's a curve that goes up, so that is a little bit cool, I think. It's not just bumping on the bottom, it is going up into, it's emerging out of the water. It's emerging instead of submerging, right? Well, you know, let me know what you think. Which one did you like better? The one without the die cut shape or the one with the die cut shape? You know, I'm sure you have your opinion too. So it's either no die cut shape or with the die cut shape. Now, of course, these are going to go cattywankas, because where is this one? Because it's I'm holding it up. Let me do this. I'm gonna put them back for a second here. Here we go. All right, we've got the one with the die cut shape and the one without the die cut shape. I already told you which one I like better, but let me know which one. I want to know. All right, I'm coming back over to you. Thank you all for being so patient with me this morning. I was late and I made an extra card, so the video went extra long, but I wanted to show you how you can make different versions of the card. You can add different layers, and it can just be really, really fun. I think you're going to really love that curved label punch. Think about it. That curved label punch plus some pennies plus dimensionals, you can make anything spin. You don't have to make a submarine spin. You can make an animal spin. You can make a flower spin. And, you know, I think we forget as adults that we need, some of us need like happy things in our life too. And an action card like that is a lot of fun even for adults. I remember I gave my nephews some candy, those, I think they were gumball machine cards for their birthdays. I don't know, it wasn't this year, it was the previous year. and they love them. They're in their 20s, right? They thought they were so cool. So just remember that it's not just for little kids. It's for the adults in your life, because we need to smile more, right? Because we forget how to have fun and smile and laugh. So let's give fun cards too every once in a while. Okay. If you follow me this far and you're not already one of my YouTube subscribers, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. This helps me get seen by lots more people, and it just builds my following. I'm getting close, not close enough, but I'm getting close to 25,000 subscribers. I'm at like about 23,500 subscribers now. So I'd love to get to 25K, because that would be really, really fun. It's just such a nice kind of rounded out number. So if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. And if you want to get notified when I go live or when there's a video ready to see, click on that little notification bell and you will also get notifications for that. Or leave me a comment down below, give me a thumbs up. All of that helps me get seen by other people, and I really appreciate it, because this is what I do for a living. And so I really need to get seen by other people. So I appreciate it if you like me. It helps me if you show me through either subscribing or commenting or thumbs upping. That would be wonderful. Okay. Enough about me and my channel and all of that. I want to say hello to all of you and see what you're thinking this morning. First of all, I want to say, I want to go in and right at the end, I ask you a question. So let's do that part first. Marty said the hex is nice, but she liked that you can see all the pretty paper. Lori likes the simpler one. Nancy says she likes both, but the second one best. Mary says without. Cynthia likes the simple one too. Okay, I think Mary says, there's another Mary on here. She says it looks more oceany without the die cut. That's true. I like that. Marg agrees with Mary. All right. Well, yeah, I think we agree we don't need the die cut shape, which kind of takes away from the Casing Tuesday part, but this is part of the evolution of, a Casing Tuesday card. It gives you a starting point, and you work from there and you find what is the best for you going forward. And you don't have to have all the layers exactly like they have them. So you have fun and decide on what you're going to do. Start off with a sketch, and it gives you a way to get your creative juices flowing, so to speak. Okay, so let's say hello to all of you. Good morning, Nancy. And she also mentions the free shipping day today. Awesome day to pick up some supplies. Just remember, your order needs to be at least $75 to qualify. Nancy says one of her favorite boxes is the Christmas tree filled with Hershey's Kisses. She made 60 of those for kids at her church preschool. That's awesome. Mary said she made the TV box and it turned out cute. And she says she loves all the 3D projects that I make. Thank you, Mary. She said she also did the birdhouse boxes and made 20 of them. And she made 15 of the tree ones. Wow, you guys are really, really industrious. Good for you. And there is yet another Mary on here this morning. Good morning, Mary Seibert. And Mommy Rue is on here from Nebraska. And there's Jean, and Marty says free shipping plus bonus day coupons, which is true. Don't forget, there's a lot of things that you earn today when you place an order in July today. Marty says, my 3D projects are how she found me years ago. And she says, Brenda's the queen bee of 3D. Well, thank you. There are lots of other talented people out there too, but I love the 3D things, and I think it probably shows that I do. Marty says, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Thank you, Marty. And she's in cloudy Pittsburgh, and we also have clouds here too, Marty. We get very similar weather to you usually. Hello, Birgit. From Germany. Hello, Carol from Connecticut. Birgit, I have to say, I have a cousin coming from, one of my cousins is coming to visit us this weekend. He's on a business trip here. And so I haven't seen any of my German relatives for a very, very long time because my parents, they would visit my parents, but I don't live anywhere near where my parents lived. So I'm having my cousin from Germany is coming this weekend, and I'm very thrilled that he's going to be here. I haven't seen him for over 30 years. It's been a long, long time since I've seen him, so it's going to be cool. Okay, that was just an aside. Hello, Ellie from Connecticut. Hello, Terry from Pennsylvania. Hello, Marge from Connecticut. Ellie said there is a major submarine base very near my home. Yeah, you know what? I think we were in that area. They have like don't they have like an airline museum, like what do they call them? Like a plane museum where they show like military. I think we've been there before. What is the name of that place? It will come to me after the live is finished. But Ellie, if you're still on here and if you remember, you can let us know. Nancy says, any secret to keeping your plate smooth after many uses? So Nancy, there are some tricks that different demonstrators have used to like straighten out their plates. Some use like boiling water in a sink and stuff like that. I use mine until they cannot be, like until they start to break and crack apart. So, and then I replace them. But if you want to go through the trouble, like if you Google it, I'm sure you can find it. I don't go through those lengths. Maybe if I had more time, I would, because I do like to reuse things and recycle them and try not to be too hard on the earth if I can be that way. But with those cutting plates, I pretty much use them to like the nth degree. And so there are tutorials on that though, on how to do that. Hello, Cynthia from Massachusetts. I'm also in Massachusetts, so I'm so glad that you're joining me this morning. I don't know what part you're in, but you can let me know. Hello, Linda from Virginia. Cynthia asks, is the punch specific for the submarine? Sorry, she just joined. So the submarine punch works with a submarine stamp set, and then the curved label punch is a standalone. It actually used to have a matching stamp set, but it didn't really match 100% exactly. It just had some images and stuff that you could spin, but they didn't have there wasn't any way to punch or die cut those images out. So what I suggest, this curved label punch can be used like as a standalone for any type of spinner card you want to make. It's very cool because it's not just a straight slot. It has a curve to it, so you can do what I did and do a sloping curve, or you can do just a regular straight across curve as well. I haven't done a spinner card with just the straight across curve, so I'll keep that in mind for the future and maybe do one just to show you how to do that curve that goes straight across. And then of course, I think that's what you meant. The curved label punch is a separate punch. And this submarine punch used to be part of a bundle with the Submarine Life stamp set. These are still both available, but no longer as a bundle. Usually what Stampin' Up! Does is it bundles things together, and you can save 10% off of buying them separately. And that's only in the catalog where they first appear. When they move over into a new catalog, the bundle pricing goes away and they're available as standalone products. So everything that I use today is still available, current as of today. But you'll just buy if you want the submarine and the stamp set, you can buy them those separately. If you just need the curved label punch, you want other things to spin, you can buy that separately as well. All right, I hope that answers your question. Marge says she's been using vinegar and salt. Yeah, we already talked about that to clean the bottoms of her copper pans for years. Let's see. Marty says she loves both colors, but actually loved the blue-green colors more. Yeah, so, it just kind of, there's more variation in the paper in the blue-green, so I think it comes off a little nicer. Marty says she has a Stampy box, and it's great. Yeah, Michelle has been really wonderful in making these little boxes for me. I really love the ribbon boxes. I got a bunch of them because I love how they contain all my little ribbons. Like, for instance, okay, this one I've kind of pulled apart because I took the ribbon out of it, but this is one of her longer boxes, and I have kind of my more neutral and some metallic ribbons in there. So it really just contains your ribbon, and it's just easy to pull them out kind of like that. Then what I like to do too is I keep those ribbons in a drawer, and then when I'm looking for a ribbon for a card, I bring out the whole box, and that way I can like lay the ribbon on top of the card and see which ribbon I like better. So it's not only an organizational tool, it's kind of a tool to help me decide things when I'm designing. So they're very, very cool. Okay, let's keep going. All right, let's see. Okay, we already talked about which design we like best. Marty says it was a fun video, lots of great information. Cynthia says great card for males. Yes, absolutely. Nancy said a spinning graduation card would be fun. Yes, that would be really cool. I love that idea. Judy says she's going to watch the replay. Well, I'm glad you're here, Judy. Nancy said, Brenda's instructions can't be beat. Every little detail is documentable. Thank you. I try. I'm not perfect, but I try to do my best. Hi, Valerie. Valerie's my newest team member. She says she's enjoying the videos and project sheets, and she says I'm a great instructor. Thank you, Valerie. That's very sweet. Birgit says, enjoy the weekend with your cousin. Well, thank you, Birgit. It's going to be fun to see him. Especially since both my parents are gone now, like those connections that I have, really mean a lot. I have a lot of German relatives, and so I don't know. Maybe sometime in the future I will plan a trip and see them. My parents went to Germany more often before they got sick, and so I don't know. I just the other day I started thinking about, hopefully now that things are settling down with everything, with my taking care of my mom's affairs, maybe after the bathroom reno and stuff, I can start thinking about maybe taking a trip there. I would love to see my relatives again. All right. Yes, Ellie, that's it. The Mystic Seaport Museum. That's what I'm thinking of. Yes, we took Nicholas there when he was in high school, and we did a little trip down that way. My husband always finds the best places to go visit. It's really cool. Here's a tip Marty said about the plates for your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machines. She says when you use your plates, flip them every time you use them. That keeps them straighter longer. Good idea. Cynthia says, where are you, Massachusetts? She's in Central Mass. Well, I'm in Sudbury, so I'm not too far from you. I think I always have trouble pronouncing the name where you're at. Is it Worcester? I give up because I'm not from here. So, but anyway, I think towards that way there is a Wegmans that I sometimes go to. If I'm in the area, I always go to the Wegmans there. So yeah, we're not super far apart, I don't think, because you're Central Mass and I'm a little bit further out, but not quite as far out as you. So that's cool. Well, maybe at some point we'll get together, because that would be fun to see one of my customers. No pressure though. I don't want you to feel like or anything like that. But it's cool when you find someone that lives somewhat close to you. All right. And Ellie says the submarines are built at Electric Boat in Groton, but I don't think you're allowed into to top secret clearance needed. I bet, right? Yeah, that's a military place. And Denise asked where I got my ribbon boxes. And so they're at, let me grab my box here. Hopefully I won't tip it out here. The stampyboxes.com, Denise. If you go to that website, you have to do a little bit of clicking, but you will find the ribbon boxes. If you have trouble finding the exact link, let me know and I will help you with that. But that is the website right there, stampyboxes.com. Nancy asks, do I speak German? Ja, ich kann Deutsch sprechen. But my problem with my German is that I don't practice it enough, and I don't have the vocabulary. Like I have the vocabulary more of a child. And so sometimes it's frustrating speaking in German because I feel like I'm a child trapped in an adult body. I'm sure maybe you've experienced that with learning a language, but so sometimes that's a little bit frustrating. Also, German grammar is like really tricky. So if you don't know if an object is feminine, masculine, or neuter, then you're not going to, it's not going to sound right. Like, so it frustrates me because I can't be 100% perfect, and I do like things to, sound good, and I want to, but I just don't practice enough of it. So I actually do speak German, and I also speak some Spanish because my husband's family is from Chile. And so I speak 3 languages, and we learned French in school, but my French is not great. But I recognize some words. I really truly can't speak French, but I do have some languages in my arsenal. And in fact, German was my first language. I spoke German before I spoke English. So it's very, very interesting. My background. All right. Cynthia said, you're not too far from me, maybe about half an hour away. That's what I was thinking. You'd love to meet me in person. Well, let me tell you this. My life is crazy, crazy right now, but maybe in fall, after we get our bathroom reno done, maybe we can figure out a way to get together and meet. I'd love to show you my craft studio. It's kind of fun and messy, and maybe we can stamp together or something. That would be really cool. All right. I hope you guys all have a great week. I will be back here on Friday with probably a 3D tutorial. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet, but it should be fun. It will be hopefully at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I always aim to go live around then. Sometimes I'm a little bit late. Very much not like me, but in crafty world, that is more like me, being late because I have to get all the details in order, and sometimes I end up running late. But I try and send out an email before I go live. So if you're on my email list, you should get a notification email when I'm about to go live. And also if you're a subscriber, you should also get a notification when I'm going live. Oh, Denise says French is the same way with the masculine and feminine, right? It's tough sometimes, but when you add the neuter in there, with the German, it's like another layer of complications with the grammar. So it makes it harder because you have to do a lot of memorization. And when you are growing up as a child in Germany, you learn all of them and you don't even have to think about them, but I have to think about them. So it just makes it a little harder. So sometimes when I'm speaking German, I will use the wrong articles and stuff, and I just go with it because there's just no way unless I was like living there. If I was living there, my German would be much, much better. And if I practice regularly, if I had a need for it, then of course it would be better as well. But there's just, you only have time for so much. So you have to choose what you work on, right? So I have enough German that I could totally have a conversation with my cousin in German, but his English is excellent. So, and my husband doesn't speak any German, and we're both going to be I don't know exactly what we're gonna do on Sunday, but we'll be taking him some sightseeing. So it will be harder if I speak in German, but hopefully I will get a chance to speak some German with him to give him a little bit of break from speaking English, because I know how hard that can be on your brain, not to speak in your native language sometimes. All right. Okay, I always go off topic, but thank you so much for bearing with me, and thank you so much for coming today. It makes my videos so much better to have you here. Have a great week, and hopefully I'll see some of you on Friday. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.